A hunter once saw a sick baby antelope in the forest. He raised his bow to kill the mother, but something in his heart stopped him. What the hunter did not know was that the antelope was not an animal at all. It was a hungry mermaid in disguise. Long ago, there was a small village beside a wet river. The people in the village were farmers and fishermen. They lived simple lives and shared food with one another. In that village lived a hunter named Kofi. Kofi was known as the kindest hunter in the land. Many hunters liked to show their strength by killing many animals, but Kofi was different. He only hunted what he needed for food. If he saw a baby animal, he would leave it alone. If he saw a mother caring for her young, he would quietly walk away. Because of this, the elders in the village respected him greatly. They often told the young boys, "A strong man is good, but a man with a kind heart is even greater." But far below the river, something terrible was happening. Deep in the water lived a group of mermaids. For many years, the river had been full of life. Fish swam everywhere, and the mermaids always had enough food for their families. But one year, the weather changed. The sun became hotter than before. Day after day, the river slowly began to dry up. The water level dropped. Fish began to disappear. Many small sea plants died. Soon, food became very hard to find. The young mermaid children cried from hunger. The mermaid mothers did not know what to do. One day, the eldest mermaid spoke to others. "We must protect our children," she said. "If there's no food in the water, we must search for food on the land." The mermaids had strong magic. With their magic, they could change their form, so they began turning into animals of the forest. Some became deer, some became birds, some became antelopes. They would come to the land quietly, find food, and take it back to the river for their children. One warm afternoon, Kofi carried his bow and his arrows and walked into the forest to hunt. The forest was peaceful. Birds sang in the trees. Leaves moved softly in the wind. Kofi walked slowly and carefully so that he would not scare the animals. After some time, he heard a small sound. He quickly hid behind a thick bush. From there, he looked ahead. Under a large tree, he saw an antelope, but the antelope was not alone. Beside her was a small baby antelope. The little one looked very weak. It could barely stand. Kofi watched quietly. The mother antelope picked a small fruit from the ground. Then she gently placed it into the baby's mouth. Baby slowly ate the fruit. After that, the mother softly touched the baby's back, trying to comfort it. The baby still looked very sick. Kofi slowly lifted his bow. He placed an arrow on the string. The antelope would be enough food for many days. But just as he prepared to shoot, something stopped him. He looked again at the mother and her baby. The baby leaned weakly against its mother. The mother gently rubbed baby's head. Kofi felt pain in his heart. He whispered softly to himself, "If I kill this mother, the little one will die alone in this forest." Slowly, he lowered his bow. He stepped back quietly and left the place without making a sound. The antelope and her baby never knew he was there. Days passed, then weeks passed. Slowly, the weather began to change. Dark clouds filled the sky. Heavy rain began to fall. The river started to fill again. Fish returned to the water. Plants grew once more. The famine in the mermaid world has ended. One quiet night, Kofi sat outside his small house, looking at the bright moon in the sky. Suddenly, he heard a gentle voice. "Kofi!" He quickly turned around. Standing a few steps away was a young woman. She was very beautiful, and her long hair shined in the moonlight. Kofi had never seen her in the village before. "Who are you?" Kofi asked in surprise. The young woman smiled kindly. Then she asked, "Do you remember the day you saw a mother antelope and her weak baby under a large tree?" Kofi's eyes grew wide. "Yes," he said slowly. "I remember." The woman nodded. That mother antelope was me. Kofi could hardly believe what he heard. "I am a mermaid," she said softly. "When the river began to dry and food became scarce, we used up magic to change into animals and search for food on land. The baby antelope you saw was my child." Kofi stood silently, trying to understand. "You could have killed us that day," the mermaid continued, "but you showed mercy." She gently took Kofi's hand and placed a small shining shell in his palm. The shell glowed softly like moonlight. "This shell is a gift," she said. "As long as you keep your kind heart, you will never lack food in your life." Kofi looked up to thank her, but the young woman had already begun walking toward the river. When she reached the water, she stepped into slowly. As the water touched her body, her legs turned into a shining tail. She became a mermaid once again. With a final smile, she disappeared beneath the river. Kofi stood quietly by the water, holding the glowing shell. From that day on, Kofi never went hungry again. Whenever he went to hunt, he always found what he needed. And the elders in the village told this story to their children for many years. They always ended the story with these words: "A kind heart can bring rewards greater than gold."